Happy New Year from ESPN. Tonight from Edmonton, Canada, two of the NHL's best, the Oilers and the Flyers. Philadelphia led by number 26, Brian Propp, and by number 12, Tim Kerr. The Oilers, of course, led by the great number 99, Wayne Gretzky. The champagne is popping along with the pucks. It's the $200,000 shootout. It's live. It's next. ESPN, the Total Sports Network, presents the National Hockey League. Tonight, live from the Northland Coliseum in Edmonton, Alberta, the Philadelphia Flyers and the Edmonton Oilers. Welcome to the National Hockey League on ESPN. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly, and from all of us at ESPN, Happy New Year's. A few hours early from Western Canada, it should be a dandy tonight. Two Stanley Cup contenders, both in first place in their division, the Oilers and the Flyers. Back in mid-November, Philadelphia skated away to a 5-3 victory against the Oilers. But as we regroup tonight, that's old news. Let's get to the new business. Where were you when the lights went out last Sunday night? When last we saw you, Buffalo trailed the Islanders 3-1 until kerosene spilled out onto this generator. Power went out, the lights went out, the fire department came, the electrical company came, but to no avail. There were enough lights remaining, however, for the Sabres to skate away with a 4-3 victory after trailing 3-1. Mike Foligno had the hat trick, and there Buffalo beat the New York Islanders 4-3 after trailing 3-1 with 6.5 minutes. That's how much time was left when the lights did go out. Also on Sunday night, our ESPN expert analyst was Brad Park. But some 14 hours later, after dining an ice-cold beer and some buffalo chicken wings, well, he was the new head coach of the Detroit Red Wings and also vice president of operations in the Motor City. So from all of us to our former colleague, Brad, best of luck in your new job. These two Stanley Cup contenders, the Islanders and, of course, the Flyers in the Patrick division, and it's the Oilers out here, of course, the Washington Capitals, too, all vying for the best overall record. And now it means something because the Board of Governors in the National Hockey League, well, they have awarded a President's Trophy and $200,000 for the team with the best record. Reaction now from Mike Lang and Mickey Redden.
All right, Jim, and Mickey, pretty good prize at the end of the rainbow right now.
I'm glad to see it, Mike. It finally gives the team something to shoot for during the regular season, gives it some meaning. You know, you really don't need a whole lot more when these two teams get together after last year's Stanley Cup final. But, of course, the Oilers are 14-3-3. Their last 20 games, the press has been all over them. A big win tonight against the Flyers. I think they can get them off the doorstep.
And the Flyers have been a red-hot team. They've won 5 in a row as they come in here against the Oilers. That's the way we see it, Jim.
The crowd is all fired up. It's New Year's Eve. It's a festive atmosphere. The Oilers and the Flyers live, and it's next on ESPN. Brought to you tonight by Bud Light, the light beer with a first name in taste. Everything else is just a light. By Kodak Film, catching the speed and sharpness of all the action as it happens. Kodak Film, because time goes by. By Kemper and the independent insurance agents who represent us. For all your insurance needs, ride with Kemper. We'll be right back with Tom Mees after these messages.
Give me a light. Go! Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light.
Bud Light. So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Thank you.
Because everything else is just a light.
ESPN's January rings in another year of total sports excitement. College basketball's big boys keep our super season rolling along with the best matchups on television. And Tuesdays, it's your chance to dial Dick Vitale for outrageous opinions and inside scoops. January bids a fond farewell to college football's graduating class at the Rico Japan Bowl, says hello to the return of Friday night fights, provides endless thrills with World Cup skiing and the NHL's finest teams, plus the titans of tennis at the Nabisco Masters. January heats up with the PGA Bahamas Classic and LPGA Mazda Classic, the Sunkist Invitational, and Splash Swimwear 86. For a super Sunday treat, you'll love Lombardi, I Am Not a Legend, an ESPN theatrical exclusive, and our Super Bowl countdown. 10 hours of highlights, plus a preview of the 20th anniversary edition. All this and more coming in January on ESPN, where the cheering never stops.
Everyone, and Happy New Year. I'm Tom Mees in our ESPN Hockey Studios. I'll be tracking the progress of the 5 other games tonight in the National Hockey League, and also an exhibition game, but a very important one between the Montreal Canadiens and the Russian Red Army team. That game already underway at the Forum in Montreal. We'll have scores and highlights of that game as the evening goes along. And don't forget, in our first intermission tonight, our Jim Kelly will be talking with the great one, Wayne Gretzky, the captain of the two-time defending Stanley Cup champion Edmonton Oilers. So lots ahead tonight, including the Oilers and the Philadelphia Flyers, a rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals. That's up next as the NHL on ESPN continues.
It's times like those that I'd rather be sitting here reading the sporting news. Traveling around the league and reading the sporting news keeps me up to the minute on pro football. But I really count on the sporting news to keep me posted on all the other major sports. My schedule really keeps me busy, so when I want to get all the latest scores and stats, the stories on baseball, basketball, hockey, boxing, and more, reported on the scene by 40 feature writers, I go to the one sports source America has counted on for 100 years, the sporting news. If you subscribe now, you'll get the special 100th anniversary issue of the sporting news, and you can also take advantage of this special half-price offer. Here's how.
Call toll-free 1-800-592-6000. You'll get 30 weekly issues of the sporting news for less than 50 cents an issue, a savings of 1/2 off the regular subscription rate. You can pay in 3 easy installments of only $4.99 each. 1-800-592-6000. That's 1-800-592-6000.
Now, the home gym that treats body to a 9-station workout. Trim Track. Durable, no-nonsense construction. Yet Trim Track can be yours on this special TV offer for just $39.95. It's a rowing machine. Perfect exercise for flattening the tummy. And you'll love quality touches like the padded seat and smooth as silk track action. The padded footlock is perfect for sit-ups. Gives you a trim, tight waistline. Hop on your knees for arm curls. Does miracles for arms and neck and chin. Trim Track. It's the fast track to the slender, younger figure you've been dreaming of. Just $39.95. Have your credit card ready and call now. Here's how to order.
To order your Trim Track, call toll-free 1-800-544-1000 or send $39.95 plus $5 for shipping and handling to Trim Track. P.O. Box 121, Plainville, Connecticut, 06062.
You know, the NHL All-Star game coming up February 4th in Hartford. For you folks in Hartford that are going to that game, watch tonight's game very closely. It's almost like a preview of the All-Star game. Edmonton Oilers and Philadelphia Flyers will dominate the Campbell and Wales Conference teams, respectively. Wayne Gretzky, Yari Curry, Grant Fuhr, Andy Moog from Edmonton will all be in Hartford on the 4th. Tim Kerr and Brian Propp from Philadelphia will be there as well, so watch it, an All-Star preview. Let's go to the Northlands Coliseum now, and the opening face-off of tonight's game with Mike Lang and Mickey Redmond. Gentlemen.
All right, here at the Northlands Coliseum, the Flyers against the Oilers, Mickey Redmond. It'll be a good one here tonight. Look at the goaltenders here. And Bob Pro starting in goal tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers. The only goaltender in the NHL right now under 3.00. A minimum of 10 games played, and he has carried the load. And Andy Moog at the other end of the ring.
Well, Andy Moog has played well, as well as Froze has Mike and Grant Fuhr on the bench tonight. Both these goaltenders have played very well for the Oilers. People excited about this hockey game in Edmonton.
Ron Sutter at center ice for the Philadelphia Flyers with Brother Rick on the left wing, Rick Tuckett on the right side, Mark Howe and Brad McCrimmon, the two defensemen. For the Oilers, Kevin McClellan with Marty McSorley and Remo Suominen, and Randy Craig and Don Jackson defensively. Rose plays it away to the near boards. Flyers trying to work that puck out. McSorley steals backhander, and the stop is made by Froze. And McSorley made a nice move there. Lifted long to the Oilers end. Moog directs it to the left wing corner. Tuckett picks it up. In front, there's Rick Sutter with a quick shot, and Andy Moog smothers that one. Now Rick Sutter with a good opportunity right in the slot area.
Well, a bunch of muckers starting this hockey game as you look at the Sutter brothers out there, and McClellan and McSorley. For the other side, as you look at Mike Keenan, the man behind the Philadelphia bench. Coach of the year last year. What a job he has done with the Philadelphia Flyers. Paul Holmgren.
And with the headset on.
Retired with a shoulder injury, surgery last year, and helping out behind the bench. He was a rugged type of player, typical Philadelphia Flyer play.
Dave Poulin now with Brian Propp and Tim Kerr for the Philadelphia Flyers against the McClellan line. Gretzky's going to take left wing on this unit. And play his whistle down right around the Edmonton goal. Kind of a strange situation here. Now a look at the Edmonton bench and Glenn Sather. 2 Stanley Cups in a row for the Edmonton Oilers and their president, GM, and co-coach. Marsh from the left point puts one on the net. Moog got a pad on that. This is Marty McSorley leaving the puck for Don Jackson. Jackson ahead to Gretzky. He feeds it up to center circle. And Brad Marsh, number 8, winds it in. McSorley now on the right wing to McCullough. Checked by Brad Marsh. McSorley putting good pressure on. They collide. And here are the Flyers storming back.
Penalty coming up on the play. It's going to be to Edmonton.
Drop down the left side. Here's Kerr. Penalty will be issued here. The extra attacker is trying to get on, but the whistle sounds, and we'll take a break. Here from the Northlands Coliseum. The Flyers nothing, the Oilers nothing.
Spinning out at Indy at 200 miles an hour just isn't a whole lot of fun. Believe me, I wore a seatbelt that day, and I wore a seatbelt when I had a really dangerous job, driving a New York City cab. And I wear a seatbelt even when I'm just cruising around town. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Seatbelts keep you where you belong, in the car. It's your life, so smarten up, buckle up.
Smart advice from the United States Department of Transportation.
Well, Marty McSorley is a culprit on the play. He gets a slashing call. And that happened, Mike, way back behind the play. The fans not too happy about it, obviously, here at the Coliseum. And we see the big guy, number 12, Timmy Kerr. We pick it up there.
Yeah, it might have been on Brad Marsh as they collide into the corner. Kevin Lowe for the Oilers got it out prop stick. The Flyers right now in the league 3rd on the power play, 51 power play goals. Their specialty teams, one of the reasons why they've won so much this year. They're 3rd on the power play and 1st in penalty killing. This is Sinisalo. Ilka Sinisalo cuts his way into the Oilers zone. Tim Kerr, the league's leading goal scorer, and on the power play too, is out here, number 12. Big 6'3", 225-pounder. The Oilers clear it up ice.
It looks like Kevin Lowe down in the corner. He just out-muscled Sinisalo for the puck. Timmy Kerr with 34 goals, and 2/3 of them with the extra man for the Flyers.
We got the rookie Pelle Eklund out here playing center ice, and he's kind of a specialist on the power play, number 9. He'll put it in the near corner. Oilers trying to grab it, and they will. Steer it up ice again. Wayne Gretzky. Number 99 giving chase, but Bob Prose beats him to it. Huddy keeps it in the Flyers' end. Right behind the net. And here are the Flyers on the attack. Left side, Murray Craven. Shoot one off Moe's blocking glove, and that one went up into the crowd. Well, a good lead pass, and Craven had a good shot.
Well, Craven's got great speed, you know. And if it hadn't been for Paul Coffey and his great speed, he might have had himself a breakaway. You look at the power play stats of the Flyers, but of course we all know how well Paul Coffey skates. For a defenseman, he skates a lot better than most forwards in the National Hockey League, and of course Murray Craven is a speedster in his own right.
Tim Kerr will handle the face-off against Craig McTavish. Kerr has 34 goals on the year, and 21 of those have been on the power play. The all-time record in the NHL, shared by Bossy. There's a quick shot by Howe. Mike Bossy of the Islanders and Wayne Gretzky. There's a quick shot. That was knocked away again by Moe. Flyers keep the pressure on. Ekman comes in. A wrist shot, and Moe snapped it too. The Flyers have had some big opportunities here in the early going.
Andy Moog one-on-one with Eklund, and he got the glove on it. Here comes a shot by Eklund right there. He's at a bit of a bad angle. He might have walked in, Mike, right in on top of Andy Moog and made the deke, but he didn't want to chance it. He just tried to pick that top corner, and the little guy picked it off.
Robin Crossman now is the two-point man. 32 seconds to go on the power play, and Moog again made a stop on that, and it's cleared by the Oilers. Bob Prose. They'll leave it for Doug Crossman around that far side for Brian Propp. Just underway, first period. The Flyers have outshot the Oilers in the early going, 7-2. Here's Craven. Stopped by Huddy. Huddy trying to move it up the boards, and out. Can't do it. And it finally comes to Paul Coffey. Penalty is almost over. Coffey to the zone. There's a shot going. Foles got that off his right shoulder. A heavy shot by Paul Coffey. Now the Oilers set up, and the penalty is expired to McSorley. McTavish avoids Craven. And an offside play at the Philadelphia line.
Boy, did Coffey ever get some wood on that one. Throws out for a little skate now. He took it high on the shoulder. Coffey chose to take the shot, a 2-on-1. There's a look at it there. Look where he got that one. Right off the shoulder blade, the right side. Down he goes, but boy, has he been playing some goal for these Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, he's right now the leading goaltender among active goaltenders in the National Hockey League. Career lifetime goals against average, Bob Brose is. Now Semenko, number 27. Challenge on the play, Dave Brown. Able to work it back to McCrimmon. Behind the net for Mark Howe. And the Flyers unable to clear. Semenko around that net, looking for Mark Napier. That's picked off by Mark Howe. Now leads the Flyers in the plus-minus department at a plus 44 and leads the NHL, too. Derek Smith almost stealing the puck from Randy Craig. The Oilers losing to the Red Army team here recently from Russia. Right point, Randy Craig can't keep it alive. And here are the Flyers again cruising back. Final control by Semenko. Ahead for Mark Napier. Leave it for McTavish, former Boston Bruin. Now to Napier. He got that shot goal blocked in front. And again, the Flyers steer it back to center ice. 15.5 to go, first period. No score. Kevin Lowe on the break. Has Marsh to beat. Tough job there. Put it in front. And it's cleared by Dave Richter with the Flyers. But not out. Marsh does put it off the wood and back to center. Well, the Oilers here at home with their record 15-3-2, giving chase. Mike Rogers, newcomer to the Oilers squad. He can't get there. Gordy Sherman trying to pass to Lowe, picked off by Rick Tocchet. Now to Ron Sutter. Drop pass back to Tocchet on the off wing, coming for the net, put it in by Ron Sutter. There, and the stop is made by Moore. Sending it again by the Flyers. And cleared off the glass by Edmonton. Well, the Flyers with some golden chances here in this first period. They haven't connected against Andy Moog. Boganite will leave it for Lumley, and he'll backhand it away. This is Rick Sutter. He'll handle the mail and bring it to center ice. Delivers the puck to Tocchet, but an offside call at the Edmonton line. We'll take a timeout. No score, Edmonton and Philadelphia.
Ladies and gentlemen, the entertainers of all orders.
Sunday, ESPN's Total Sports lineup makes all the rest second best. We'll be live from Nassau, where the PGA's top money winners shoot for a share of the $300,000 Bahamas Classic jackpot. We're golf's #1 network. Later, Fish and Hole and Outdoor Life magazine guarantee angling thrills you've never experienced before. Sunday continues with the NHL's best. The North Stars and Blackhawks are on a collision course in the Norris Division. Feel the impact live all Sunday.
Mickey, some fine goaltending by Andy Moog in this first period. The Flyers have really put some pressure on the Edmonton Oilers, but they haven't scored.
Well, they had the one extra man situation, but they're playing very tough hockey right now. The Oilers are doing a good job defensively, though, and giving Andy Moog lots of help out there. It's a good hockey game so far, and the fans appreciating it here at the Coliseum.
Coffey swinging over far side. And it is controlled by Huddy, who will tap it into the Flyers end. Richter played around near wing for Tim Kerr. Can't connect on the cross-range pass. Huddy able to capture the disc. He plays it off the boards again. And the Flyers set up. To Dave Poulin. Ahead for Tim Kerr. Been a dangerous goal scorer this year. Kerr into the Edmonton zone. Flip it towards the net. Moog got an easy time with that one. Poulin has it in front of quick shot score. Brian Propp puts it in as Dave Poulin set him up. And the Flyers take the lead 1-0.
Well, Big Kerr really is the guy to thank for this one, Mike. Two Edmonton players followed Tim Kerr in back of the net and tried to take him out, and they did take him out, but he left the puck there for the teammate. There's the two Oilers right there. And look, there's nobody left. Two Flyers and one Oiler, and Andy Moog had no chance on the play as Brian Propp finishes it off. But Kerr draws the attention. Look at that. Two guys after him, and that leaves a mismatch. 1-0 Flyers.
And Brian Propp connects on his 25th goal of the year. Well, he's a deadly shooter, too, from in front, Mickey. And And so the Flyers do get the opening goal. Worked hard here in this first period. Down the right wing. And now grabbed by Don Jackson. Rink wide. Going to Randy Craig. McCollin bumping into one of the Flyers. And Edmonton intercepts a clearing pass. It'll be Don Jackson trying to feed it towards the net. McCrimmon takes over, though, for the Flyers. Number 10, Brad McCrimmon. Now to Howe with some room into the Edmonton zone. Going the left wing side. Trying to pass it back in the slot. Stolen by Marty McSorley. McSorley started his career as a defenseman. Now in the right wing to McClellan. Slap shot. And throws will make that save. The rebound clear to the corner. Remo Suominen to Don Jackson. Trying to go between the circles. Couldn't quite finish the play. Here with the Flyers. They have an advantage here. 2-on-1 develops. Sutter left side. Shoots one off the pipe. Went up the outside of the post, I think, on Moog. And the Flyers, again, get possession at center ice. The Flyers lead 1-0. Well, right now, the Flyers have dominated the first period.
They certainly have. They've got the Oilers really defending. Can't get much offense going.
Kelly Eklund in front for Sinisalo. He'll stop. Pull back to the near corner. Good pass. Crossman shooting. And the stop is made in front again. Here come the Oilers counterattacking. Semenko on the off wing. Centering pass. Crossman anticipated. He knocked that out of the slot. Lowe is bumped at center, but does work the puck into the Flyers in. Mars a soft pass off the boards. Derek Smith can't clear. Semenko centering one, but Hunter could not, or McTavish could not get there. Here with the Flyers, Sinisalo again, one-on-one against Lowe. Drop pass left side, Derek Smith a blast. And Moe cut the angle down to make that save. And the Flyers are just getting tremendous shots here against Andy Moog in this first period. With a lot of wood on them and good scoring opportunities. Yet they only lead 1-0.
Boy, Moog has just been a standout so far. They've had several good chances. Could have been 3-4-0.
Here's Gretzky now. He'll try and turn things around for the Oilers. Cuts in, but it's an offside call. Here in the Northlands Coliseum, the score. Flyers 1, the Oilers 0.
Introducing the revolutionary Han Folder, the world's lightest, most compact bicycle, offering unmatched versatility and convenience. So unique, yet so practical. Look, 12 seconds is all it takes to turn this compact package into a full-sized bike. Here's a high-performance 3-speed with all the features of a full-sized bike and much, much more. Whether you stow your Han Folder in a high-rise, an RV, your boat, or a plane, you'll always have instant transportation. Han eliminates the worry of theft and the problems of storage. Commuters, now you can fold it and take it. Actually fits under most seats. Leave rush hour traffic and parking problems behind. The Han Folder goes to work with you. Not just the wheel, but the whole bike. No more hassling with clumsy bike racks. Just store the Han in your trunk. It's that easy. Complete adjustability makes it a bike that can be shared by your entire family. The sure-locking quick fasteners are easy to use, impossible to lose. See how Han's gearing lets you cover ground just like any standard-sized bike with no more effort, no extra pedaling. 3 speeds give you easy pedaling on hills. The bike's high-tech design, precision engineering, and quality construction guarantee high performance and long life. The ride will absolutely surprise and amaze you. It's comfortable, solid, and enjoyable. The bike's low center of gravity makes it the most maneuverable bike in existence. Turn the Han into a 3-wheel luggage cart by simply extending a hidden caster wheel. The Han Folder travels anywhere and still leaves room for everything else. Plus, the Han Folder comes fully assembled, ready to ride. The Han Folder, the most remarkable and versatile bike ever built.
For a limited time and only through the special TV offer, you may purchase this nationally advertised $325 Han Folder for only $199.95. To order or for further information, call free 1-800-942-4000. Of course, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Use your Han Folder for 30 days. If not completely satisfied, return prepaid for a full refund.
Well, we have 11:41 to go in the first period already, Mickey. The Flyers are out shooting the Oilers 12-4.
It's been all Flyers, I should say, so far. Edmonton's too busy checking and backing up as it's an offside at the Oiler line.
All right, let's go to ESPN's Hockey Central and Tom Mees. Gretzky with control of the puck now for the Oilers. He's the league leading scorer. 93 points. Left wing, a shot. That's Almost got through Froze, and now it's put back on, and Bob Froze will handle that one in the crease.
Guess who got the rebound? It was Gretzky. Set up the play originally, and without the puck, they weren't watching him. He just skipped through the middle. He picked up the rebound off of Froze and the shot by Hunter.
Well, you see so much, and there's a look at the coach of the Flyers, Mike. You see so much of Bob Froze and the newcomer Darren Jensen, too, along the lines of Bernie Perrant. He works with these two goaltenders. He worked with Pedley Lindbergh also, but you can see an awful lot of Bernie Perrant in the way the Flyers play goal.
You can. Well, the Flyers system, Mike, is very conducive to good goaltending as well, because like Buffalo, they usually play very, very well defensively, play tight-checking hockey game, and that really helps. It's like a snowball. Going downhill, you get all that help, and plus good goaltending, and boy, it adds up.
Flyers lead 1-0 on a goal by Brian Propp. Though the Oilers are still trying to find themselves here in this first period, trying to find out what's hit them, because the Flyers have really had some good pressure on. At center ice, McCrimmon off the board. And away it goes into the Oilers net area. Moog couldn't get it out. Here's Ron Sutter shooting one that went wide of the cage. Right point, McCrimmon holds it in. And the Flyers now pick off his pass. Center ice, McSorley whips it up in behind Froze. He's looking for help, can't find anybody, so he'll pass to Rick Sutter. Ahead for Tocchet, who was alone. Tocchet with a long slap shot. Moog puts that one into the corner. Huddy comes back to corral the loose puck, and a lead pass too far. Froze will play that puck. And back to center ice again. Sinisalo on the rush. He'll stop, put it in front, got a man there. Craven deflected it and was stopped by Moog again. Boy, Moog is reading well. And that's helping the cause, because the Oilers are being outplayed here by Philadelphia in the first period. Dave Hunter gave it away to Brad Marsh. And nothing seems to be going right for the Oilers right now. Gretzky putting pressure on Marsh. Right back in behind the Flyer net. Marsh now, again, he'll try and get a face-off there. It looks as though he's trying to pin it against the boards. The Flyers want the puck.
You're called for delay a game if he doesn't watch it. They're trying to get it out.
Gary Fraser, the referee, watched the play, and it comes off the near side. Play back now to Gretzky. He's got a man in front, Curry. Gretzky tried to go to him, and it's just outside of his stick. Boy, Gretzky got that puck through Marsh somehow.
Somehow, that's right.
Right wing quarter. And again, they put pressure on. They stack it up. Flyers are trying to get a face-off here. They can't do it. Huddy keeps it alive. He shoots one on Froze. He had the angle covered well. Curry picks up the rebound.
Eklund without a stick now. They're a mismatch again.
Curry looking for Gretzky behind the net. They will get it to it. They'll go back to Yari Curry in front for Hunter. And popped right by his blade. Left point, Huddy shoots one, and Crossman handled that one well. That one didn't have too much mustard on it. Crossman's able to get the puck out of danger. Might get an icing call here. All right, the score here in Edmonton. The Flyers won, and the Oilers nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Edmonton Sun presents Sun Store in cooperation.
Mickey, it's as though the Oilers just can't get on track. The Flyers won't give them the opportunity.
Well, they played a good defense as well, but a couple of good chances there. Gretzky somehow got the puck through.
Low shot. Now rebound play in front. And that went just wide. The Oilers are picking it up here the last minute or so. In the near corner, Gordy Sherbin. He is out with Lumley and Mike Rogers. But again, the Flyers have possession. And they swing it up to Brian Propp. Open space. At center, they try to go to Poulin. That's not the side. Let's check at center now as Brad McCrimmon collides with Mike Rogers.
Flyers got away with something there. Excuse me, Mike. Flyers got away with something there. The fans hollering, but no penalty.
All right, the Red Army team is playing Montreal tonight. Let's go to Tom Meade in ESPN's Hockey Central.
Thank you, Mike. At the form in Montreal, it's 2-0 the Red Army. This is their first goal. Tumanev on left wing. A nice pass to Krutov, who passes over to Sergei Makarov, beating goaltender Doug Sotard. That made it 1-0 the Red Army in the first period. Vasilov has scored to make it 2-0 Red Army, second period at Montreal.
And you can see that game tomorrow right here on ESPN, 12 noon, New Year's Day, in its entirety. Now from the Flyers zone, Doug Crossman, former Chicago Blackhawk, led it ahead for Derek Smith, but Kevin Lowe regains possession. And long lead pass, but the Oilers really most of the time make that click. It's not happening here in the first period. Heavy checks going on right now. Bogerman.
Lumley and Richter. Keep your eye on those two later on.
Richter, of course, a newcomer to the Flyers, coming from Minnesota. And Crossman gets the puck again. Gave it away to Randy Craig. And McCavish trying to find someone open. He gets it from Napier. Left wing pass to Semenko. Backhander. That's a good shot by Semenko and a good stop by Froese. Let's join Jim Kelly right now.
All right, Michael, a big battle between Boston and Buffalo in the Adams. Goals for the Sabres, Orlando Dunn and Andrechuk. It's 3-1. Sabres in the first. Goulet is 28 for the Nordiques. Quebec leads Hartford 1-0 in the second. Trottier gets his 15th and a power play for Al Arbor's Islanders. But Brad Park in his coaching debut in Detroit. Duguay's got 2. It's 3-1. The Red Wings after 1. So I guess he scouted the Islanders pretty well, Mike and Mickey, on Sunday night, even in the dark.
You know, it's a funny thing when coaches are changed in all kinds of sports. The team usually wins. Have you ever noticed that, Mike? They'll win their first game when a coaching change is made. No rhyme or reason for it. Certainly the Red Wings could use it. Problems they've had.
Well, they haven't won it yet. It's 3-1
right.
still, and they've had some troubles late in games. And as witnessed last weekend against Toronto, there's a play call back on a 2-line pass. They had the lead in the game, 4-0, Mickey, and then watched it evaporate. Yeah. And they lost the game with 3 seconds to go in regulation time.
I think you really have to feel for Harry Neal. You've been around this game long enough, and Harry Neal's a super gentleman. And they say if you can't play for Harry Neal, you can't play for anybody in this league. So he was the out in Detroit.
But Peter Rittich scored the goal against the Red Wings the other night.
Yes, it was.
Now they've reports
3
now
seconds left.
that his brother is defected from Czechoslovakia.
And the Leafs have already got him under contract, and they're trying to get him in very much like the Peter Klima from Detroit situation. Trying to get Miroslav Inacek into Canada and Toronto.
Here it's Philadelphia 1, Edmonton 0. The only goal of the game by Brian Tropp of the Flyers at 6:09 of the first period. They have 7:18 to go. Flyers again with a Craven. Fired one that went off the glass. Now Dave Brown, the big 6'5" right winger. Can't keep it in. Here's Gretzky back. Gretzky is a man open right wing. Curry. Steady hooks left side. Got Hunter coming for the game. In front of Curry. Oh, he missed the net. He tried to tap it in and finesse it in. And he got the side of the goal. And you rarely will see Yari Curry do that.
Very good passing that time. 3-way.
It seems like that's the way the period's going for the Oilers. Here's Gretzky. Look for Coffey. Back to Gretzky. He tried to send it. That came off the skate. And the Flyers counterattack. Raven. This shot was partially deflected. Coffey sails it back to the neutral zone. The Flyers again set up shop. This is Brad McCrimmon. Swinging in deep. And Kerr comes over to play the puck in behind the net. Ramo Suominen. Glenn Sather mixing his troops up a little bit here. Gretzky still on with Curry, but Suominen on the left wing. Now back away to the Oilers zone. Curry losing the puck, and a quick shot by Kerr, and Logan to cover on that one and hold it right there. Good steal by Kerr. Here in Edmonton, the score: Philadelphia 1, Edmonton 0.
Once again, I'm here to tell you all you get by ordering Sports Illustrated now.
And once again, I'm here to make sure you get it right. Get it right, Jack.
I will, Mr. Alcedo. By ordering Sports Illustrated now, you not only get unbeatable weekly coverage of all your sports, you get the big 1986 baseball preview.
You're doing fine so far.
The preview is packed with lots of great inside stuff you won't find anywhere else. But you can get it all by calling toll-free 1-8...
Not yet. Don't give them the number.
But they need the number if they're going to...
Not until you tell them everything they get.
You get basketball, football, tennis, golf, and the famous swimsuit issue. As always, a beautiful preview of what's new under the sun. And it's all yours. And by ordering now, you get over 40% off the cover price.
Give them 50.
50?
Well, over 50.
Over 50. Okay, you'll get over 50% off the cover price. So you'll get 30 issues at the low basic rate, payable in 3 monthly installments of only $10.89. So every week you get the timely, colorful coverage that only Sports Illustrated gives you. What more could you want? Just call this toll-free number.
Give them this, too.
Free?
Free.
You also get free this handy 1986 Major League Baseball schedule.
And this.
Free?
Free.
The SI Super Bowl 20 commemorative pin is free, too.
And don't forget these great binoculars.
You also get these sporty, high-quality binoculars.
Free.
Free, with your paid subscription. They're perfect for getting closer to the game or anything else you want to get close to. And they're free. From Sports Illustrated, you not only get a lot of sports, you get...
Jack, you forgot something.
But I told them about the great savings, the baseball preview, the swimsuit issue, the free baseball schedule, the free Super Bowl pin, the free binoculars, and...
The free carrying case.
Oh, Like I was saying, with Sports Illustrated, you not only get a lot of sports, you get a lot more.
But to get it, you better call him now. Right, Jack?
Right, Lyle. Mr. Alzado.
Call now. 1-800-525-2500.
Well, a face-off at the Edmonton zone to the right of Andy Moog. Shots are now 15-11 in favor of the Flyers. And a quick wrist shot by Howe. Now picked up by Propp. He threw one on, and Moog got the arm on that one. And Vogelin handles the puck, but checked heavily by Propp. Lowe finally decides to clear the puck off the sideboards, and Mark Howe will go back and take possession. Up ahead, Sumanen. You could hear somebody yelling to Rameau. They wanted the puck in that play. Kevin Lowe going to Marty McSorley, number 33. Snaps it in. Throws around the boards for Dave Poulin. Right point, Vogelin got a piece of that. Poulin's over, though, to work it out again. And it's center right. The Oilers have it. McSorley. Off the body of Poulin, and they carry him all the way back to Randy Craig. 5:15 left, first period, and the Flyers lead this game 1-0. Cittisalo looking in the right wing for Brian Propp. Uses his body well as he comes in. McSorley ties him up, though, and knocks him down. Had only one penalty in the game so far. That'd be the Oilers. Now a shot by Marsh. Now we've got a penalty coming up against Edmonton. Craig pulled down one of the Flyers. Here's Foxman trying to shoot one. Deflected by McSorley. Play is still alive. The goaltender has come off, and the extra attacker is on, and Tim Kerr. Cittisalo with the puck, left side. Delayed penalty coming up. In the slot, coming out of Propp. A quick shot. The save is made. The rebound. And finally, it's controlled by the Oilers. Penalty coming up against the Flyers. The score, Philadelphia 1, Edmonton 0.
Saturday, it's non-stop live sports excitement on ESPN. First, a dream showdown in the ACC. Number 1 North Carolina puts it all on the line in a live shootout with NC State. This one's too close to call. Live horse racing's next. The Tropical Park Derby tests 3-year-old Triple Crown hopefuls with the start of television's biggest racing schedule. Later, a live basketball twin bill. It's Kentucky and Vanderbilt in the opener. Top 10 Duke and Maryland with an ACC encore. All Saturday.
Well, not much question on this penalty. Randy Gregg, the culprit, and he hauled down the Flyer player in front of Andy Moog. 18-11 in favor of the Flyers now, shots on goal. Outside of a couple of short barrages by the Oilers, it has been Flyers all the way. I wonder what the record for the most shots in a period against the Oilers is this year in a period. We still have almost 5 minutes to go in the first 20 minutes of action. Tim Kerr with Peter Zezel and Murray Craven. These aren't long-range shots, too. I mean, a lot of these have been good scoring opportunities. You're right. McCrimmon losing the puck to Gretzky. There's a puck. Gretzky starts back. Gretzky shoots one on Froze. And he'll kick that away. But the penalty will be against the Flyers now, and that'll even things up.
Well, it will. That would have been a 2-on-1, Gretzky and McTavish. And big Timmy Kerr hauled down Craig McTavish right about center ice. Gretzky finished off and got a good shot on Froze. Not that dangerous, but it's, I guess, one of those things that you call a pretty good penalty to take. It's an unfamiliar spot for that big guy. He's not usually over there.
Spending a lot of time in there.
There's a look at it from behind the play. And as I said, it probably could be gauged a pretty good penalty to take if there's such a thing. That would have been a very good scoring chance for the Oilers.
Well, they're at equal strength for a minute 47 seconds, and then the Oilers will get a brief power play. Flyers were on it for 10 seconds before the penalty to Kerr. Philadelphia leads 1-0. This is Yari Curry. Curry to the right wing. Long range shot, and again played away by Froze. Propp stepping in. Gretzky playing as a defenseman. Able to force the puck wide. Coffey made a nice move to get into the Flyers in. Still skating with the puck to Curry.
Flyers sitting back watching him right now. They can't afford to do that.
Pass is deflected. Curry looks for Gretzky in the corner. Propp comes in to play it off his stick. And back to center. Dave Poulin. Nice move to get around Coffey. That's Huddy to beat, though, and he can't do that. That shot sailed wide of the cage. Curry will lead it ahead for Paul Coffey. Coffey's got great speed. Gretzky's on the right wing. He'll give it to him. And back to Coffey. Moving in. Drop pass to Curry. Back to Coffey. A quick shot and a great save by Froze. Oh, great balls at fire. Pretty passing play, but a better save by Froze there. Sinisalo back. He'll risk one. And Mo got a piece of that. Center back in front of backhander. And just missing the net was Murray Craven. End to end. Great scoring chances by both of us now. Napier. Up to the Flyers line. Drop pass to Gretzky. Here he is. He shoots one and Froze. Got the angle down. Stops Wayne Gretzky from the slot area.
What great action at both ends. That is a vintage Froze save. The give and go again by the Oilers. Coffey finished it off as far as he could, and Bobby Froze did a tremendous job of anticipating the give and go. Coffey to Curry, and there you see Froze almost moving before the pass came out from Curry. He anticipated well, was right, and made a super stop.
12 seconds left on the Randy Gregg penalty, and 21 now on the penalty to the Flyers' Tim Kerr. We've seen some great goaltending either to the rink now. The shots are astronomical, really. 19 to 15 right now.
Yeah, right.
And the Oilers have had their share now of good scoring chances. Here's Lowe. Swing it over to Vogelin. He shoots one. That was off Napier, his own man. Kelly Eklund controls the play for the Flyers. Good skater. Penalties over to Craig. Power play now for the Oilers. For just a brief amount of time. Rogers to the right wing to Vogelin. Got around now. Put it behind the net for Semenko. He centers. And there's nobody home. Both penalties are over. Kerr is on. They're at equal strength now. Flyers lead the game 1-0 on a Brian Propp goal. Mark Howe. Swing it up for Tim Kerr. Big bright red stick. He couldn't play it ahead. And Crossman gets it out of danger now to Peter Zezel. Up to Kerr. He's trying to lead that puck for Zezel. He rushes in to take it. Zezel's pass is knocked wide by Randy Craig. The Oilers content to work it back to the neutral zone. Semenko went back to Randy Craig. Well, back and forth they go now, Mickey. 2-on-1. Finally, Zezel. He'll risk one up the left hand. Rebound. Zezel gets his own rebound and scores. What a great play by Zezel there. And the Flyers now lead 2-0. That was just hard determined work by Peter Zezel to get the goal.
Well, it was a 2-on-1 that developed just inside the center ice line. And Randy Gregg went down to block the shot. Zezel went around him, picked up his own rebound. And as Bogue had gone down to stop the original shot there, Zezel, as he was falling, chopped it up. Bogue did get a piece of it, but not enough.
Well, Peter Zezel connecting for the Flyers, his 10th of the year. Well, he just was determined to get that puck back and put it in.
It's a matter of time, boy. Now 21 shots for the Flyers. You keep shooting them like that, you've got to get some goals.
Drop again in the zone. He centers it back from Collins field. Picked up by the Oilers, Paul Coffey. Put one off the arm of Froze. He can't find it. Now in the slot, Sumanen shoots one that was deflected. And Brad Marsh leads the parade back for the Flyers. Bounce to the net, and Andy Moog stops it. Let's join Jim Kelly right now.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. I'm back behind the Philadelphia Flyers goaltender Bob Froze, and coming up in our first intermission, we'll have the great one, and no, I don't mean Jackie Gleason. It'll be number 99, the great Wayne Gretzky of the Edmonton Oilers. Also coming up in intermission number 1, we'll check in with Tom Mees, who will have the NHL statistical leaders as we approach the first half of the season. We'll check in with SportsCenter at ESPN, and back with Tom Mees, the Bud Light scores and highlights. You know, Mickey, as these two teams get together, it really takes on more than just a regular season game. It's almost a playoff-type atmosphere.
Well, the Flyers were not happy about last year's outcome, and talking to them today in the hotel and before the hockey game, they said, hey, even though the Oilers have got Messier and Anderson out, we're not going to feel any pity for them. We're going to give them all we've got right here. They might foresee another final coming this year and want to set them up for it. So far, they're doing a fine job.
And the offside call. The Flyers have now gone 9 regular season games in a row without losing to the Edmonton Oilers, 8-0-1. But where it counts for the money last year, the Oilers won 3 straight to win the Cup.
Well, the Flyers are one of the better road teams in the National Hockey League. They play that same type of style at home or on the road. Very physical, tight checking. You've got to take advantage of your opportunities. when you're playing against the Flyers. So far, the Oilers tonight have not. Crossman looking for Rick Sutter. Got it to his twin brother Ron. Now back to Crossman again. Craven will bang it away. And Kevin Lowe coming back to take possession. Good lead pass to Hunter. And Sutter's all over him in the back checking up. That's what the Flyers do so well. They get a lead, and boy, they make it awfully tough for you to come back. Now Kevin Lowe. A lot of time left in this game, however. We still have 18 to go in the first period. Vogelin off a stick, and Howe stops it again. Markow to Rick Sutter. Now to Ron. He'll shoot one. That one almost got by Moser, but just wide of the far post on a heavy slap shot. 2 seconds to go in the period. And the siren sounds, and that ends the first period. And maybe fortunately for the Edmonton Oilers, Mickey Redmond, they're only down 2-0 here at the end of the first. No question about it. It could have been many, many more, but Andy Moog did a job in the Edmonton net. And Bob Froese, when he had 2, 3, or 4 times with the Oilers at point-blank range, he kept them off the board. But certainly Edmonton's got to get their offense going first. What they're doing now is playing defense against the Flyers and then taking what they can get offensively. They got to go the other way around. Philadelphia outshot Edmonton 22-15, and the score: the Flyers 2, Edmonton 0. We'll be right back with Jim Kelly and his guest Wayne Gretzky of the Edmonton Oilers.
Announcing a fabulous sale on the Commodore Plus 4 personal computer, the first computer with 4 built-in software packages, the big 4 every computer owner needs. Built-in graphics and sound commands, 128 colors, 64K memory, 75 commands, word processing for letters, reports, create graphics, graphs, charts, full color designs, balance checkbooks, business statements, income tax, file management for mailing lists, inventories, recipes. Retailers originally sold the Commodore Plus 4 for $299.95. Now it's yours for only $99.95 complete. Will include $150 in discount coupons towards special options. Use your credit card and order the incredible Commodore Plus 4, the $99.95 computer package you've been waiting for.
Use your credit card for rush delivery by calling 1-800-592-6000 or send check or money order for $99.95 plus $10 shipping and handling to Commodore Plus 4. P.O. Box 3500, Department A, West Caldwell, New Jersey, 07006.
Happy New Year from ESPN from Western Canada. A big battle between division leaders, and the Flyers lead the Oilers 2-0 after 1 here in Edmonton. Number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Let's take a look at the 39 records which he holds right now. Stanley Cup playoff records 9, career records 5, regular season records 21, all-star game records there are 4. As we turn to page 2, we can see that number 99 has scored the most goals single season, 92, 135 assists, most points of course, and longest scoring streak, 51 games. Moving on to page 3. Most assists in one game belong to Wayne Gretzky. Most goals in one period, all in less than 7 seasons in the National Hockey League. And the great one is alongside here on New Year's Eve. When you were a young man growing up, I imagine your first goal was just to make the National Hockey League. Now you're rewriting the record book. Do you ever dream you'd be so successful?
Well, I feel very fortunate that things that have happened to myself, and you know, it's a great thrill to get in the NHL and to be part of it and do something that you love, but to be able to be on this hockey team and play for a club that's so good and has such great people involved, it's a real pleasure for me.
Wayne, if there's a young man out there who's saying, boy, I'd like to be just like Wayne Gretzky someday, I'd like to break all of his records, what advice might you give him as far as modeling himself after you?
Well, you know, I guess the biggest thing is that, as I said earlier, it's a great life, and you know, you may have to sacrifice a lot of things growing up, but believe me, it's worth it. And once you get here, it's a great thrill to be part of the NHL, and it's worth the sacrifices.
I know your dad was a huge influence in your hockey career.
Well, I think all parents are influences on children, and my dad and my mother were a big influence in my life, and a big part of me being able to get into the NHL, and you know, I'm very grateful to them for that.
How do you feel about the President's Trophy now, $200,000 to the team that accumulates the best record?
Well, it's a trophy that I think is long overdue. I think that, you know, they need something to make the regular season worthwhile. And, you know, we were involved in a very important hockey game tonight. Unfortunately, we're down 2-0, but, you know, we got a strong club, and there's a lot of hockey left. We'll come back and make a game of it. But I agree with what they've done, and I think it's great for hockey that we have some interest throughout the 80 games.
With all the hundreds of interviews, radio and television and newspapers that you've granted, what's the one question you've been asked the most that maybe you hate the most?
Well, I don't know if it's the question I've been asked the most, but I guess it's probably a question to try to compare today's hockey to hockey 30 and 40 years ago. You know, we'll never be able to do that, and I think that we're just wasting our time trying to compare it.
Any New Year's resolutions for number 99?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I've been worrying about this hockey game for the last couple of days, but I guess if I had one, it would be to be able to relax in an airplane.
In an airplane. You don't spend enough time there, do you? Have a good New Year's. All right, Wayne Gretzky, thank you for joining us. And for joining us here on ESPN, number 99 gets the stylish Loris Sports Watch. Loris, the official timepiece of ESPN. 2-0, the Flyers on top over the Oilers, but 2 big periods yet to go. We'll join Tom Mees right after these messages.
In sports, timing is everything, and the same goes for watching sports. If your timing is a little off, you could miss some great action. No one knows that better than ESPN. That's why we offer our monthly sports guide. The ESPN Sports Guide gives you the inside track on the greatest variety of sports programming offered today. Every race, every game, every instructional series, every rewarding promotion, challenges, action, the best sports news. ESPN has it all. Why play hit or miss with your favorite events? For less than 42 cents an issue, you can guarantee yourself a seat at all your favorite games. That's $4.95 for 12 exciting months of Sports Guide. To subscribe, call 1-800-544-1000 or send your check to Sports Guide, Box 1840, Bristol, Connecticut, 06010. Act now. After all, timing is everything. And now is the time to order your ESPN Sports Guide.
Thursday, college basketball super season delivers a live triple header. The top 10 Georgetown Hoyas take it to the boards against Big East rival Pitt in the opener. But rankings don't count when the Panthers are on the prowl. Next, flashy Pearl, Washington, and Syracuse put their top 10 perch on the line in a showdown with Boston College. The best Big East action is right here. Then go coast to coast for a Pac-10 battle when Washington collides with California. Top 10 teams and a total live lineup Thursday.
Good evening once again, everyone, and Happy New Year to you and your family, wherever you are watching us throughout the United States, or maybe even the Virgin Islands. Tonight, our hockey game, 2-0, the Flyers leading the Edmonton Oilers in a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup final. And, you know, this game tonight really is maybe a foreshadowing of the All-Star game coming up in the Hartford Civic Center February 4th. So many All-Stars on so many of these teams, and so many statistical leaders as well. As we end the year of 1985, getting ready to turn the corner and go down the stretch in the National Hockey League, let's take a look at the leaders in the NHL in 6, or rather 5 specific categories. First of all, overall scoring, the man that Jim Kelly just talked to, Wayne Gretzky, the Edmonton Oilers, still with a big lead over Mats Naslund of Montreal. Naslund has recently passed Mario Lemieux of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Naslund 26 and 36 for 62. Paul Coffey of Edmonton, 55 points, is in 4th spot, followed by Yari Curry, his teammate. Coffey, Curry, and Gretzky all be in the All-Star game, along with Naslund and Lemieux. And don't forget Dale Howardchuk of the Winnipeg Jets. Now the rookies in the NHL, the rookie scoring leaders. Shel Dahlin, of course, coming over from Europe to play with Montreal, has 41 points. Peter Klima, the Czech import for Detroit, 28 points. Mike Ridley of the Rangers, 28. Perry Eklund of Philadelphia, 26 points. Perry Berezan of Calgary, that's who I was thinking of, with 23. And Remo Hellman of the New York Rangers with 21. As far as the best goaltenders in the NHL, you're seeing one of them tonight. Bob Froese of the Philadelphia Flyers, 2.61 goals against. Top candidate right now for the Vezina Trophy, Al Jensen of Washington. Follows him, John Van Beesbrook, who has every victory that the Rangers have this year, with a 3.11, and Roberto Romano, a fine goaltending year so far for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now some team stats. Who has the best power play in the NHL? The Montreal Canadiens, clicking nearly 33% of the time, just over that. You look at all these teams that are tough on the power play, they're really good, and they're really at the top or near the top of their division. So a good power play equates with good performance in the NHL. Now the penalty killing team stats. Who are the teams that kill penalties the best? Well, again, most of these teams are at or near the top of their divisions. Philadelphia, Quebec, Vancouver kills over 80%, as does Edmonton, the Buffalo Sabres, and the Washington Capitals. So I think those team statistics are very, very telling indeed. If you're good on the power play and can stop the other guy from scoring on the power play, you got a good shot at finishing high up in your division. Well, I'll be back in just a moment to take a look on Sports Center at a look at the Peach Bowl game from this afternoon, and a little bit later on we'll have the Bud Light Hockey News. All that and more coming up. Flyers lead Edmonton 2-0 at the end of the first.
ESPN's January rings in another year of total sports excitement. College basketball's big boys keep our super season rolling along with the best matchups on television. And Tuesdays, it's your chance to dial Dick Vitale for outrageous opinions and inside scoops. January bids a fond farewell to college football's graduating class at the Rico Japan Bowl, says hello to the return of Friday night fights, provides endless thrills with World Cup skiing and the NHL's finest teams, plus the titans of tennis at the Nabisco Masters. January heats up with the PGA Bahamas Classic and LPGA Mazda Classic, the Sunkist Invitational, and Splash Swimwear 86. For a super Sunday treat, you'll love Lombardi, I Am Not a Legend, an ESPN theatrical exclusive. And our Super Bowl countdown, 10 hours of highlights, plus a preview of the 20th anniversary edition. All this and more coming in January on ESPN, where the cheering never stops.
Hello once again, everyone. I'm Tom Mees. Welcome to this edition of the Bud Light Hockey News. The Flyers lead Edmonton 2-0 at the first intermission. Well, Monday, ESPN lost a hockey analyst, but the Detroit Red Wings gained a new head coach in Brad Park, who took over for the fired Harry Neal. Neal was fired by the Red Wings management after Detroit lost yet another game Sunday night to the Hartford Whalers 5-1. Now, Park takes over with the team having the worst record in the NHL. They're in the basement of the weak Norris division. During his 15-year NHL career, of course, Park played for the Boston Bruins, the New York Rangers, and his last 2 years with the Red Wings. He played in over 1,100 games, scored 213 goals, 896 assists. He was a real worker as a hockey player, and the people in Detroit hope Brad Park can get his team to work it and climb up the standings. He signed a 2.5-year contract. And the former president and owner of the Detroit Red Wings, Bruce A. Norris, died today at the age of 61 following a brief illness. Norris was a two-time past chairman of the NHL's Board of Governors. He's a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. Under Norris, the Red Wings won their last Stanley Cup in 1955. Norris sold controlling interest in the Detroit Hockey Club in 1982. Bruce Norris died today at the age of 61. Well, let's take a look at some news from across the sea. Czechoslovak hockey star Miroslav Inicek, brother of Toronto Maple Leafs center Peter Inicek, has defected to the West and today signed a multi-year contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs. The signing took place today in Vienna with his girlfriend and Leafs general manager Jerry McNamara looking on. The Leafs are trying to cut through some governmental red tape in Canada to get Miroslav Inicek into the country soon. Inicek is fearful now with all the publicity that he may be in for some reprisals from the communist government of Czechoslovakia. He's only 45 miles away from the communist government while he is currently in Vienna. They're trying to get him into Canada as quickly as they can. Let's go now to the scoreboard tonight. 5 other games around the NHL. Hey, the Sabres are really playing great hockey of late. They beat, or rather, they're leading Boston 4-1 in the second period. Gates Orlando, Richie Dunn, Andrechuk, and Andrechuk again have scored for Buffalo. Quebec and Hartford. That game is now the second period of play at Le Colisée, and Michel Goulet's goal at 1:29 of the first period still holding up as the Nordiques lead the Hartford Whalers 1-0. In the second period at Detroit now, hey, Brad Park has them playing. Ron Duguay a couple of goals, and Detroit leads the Islanders 3-1 in that game. Pittsburgh and St. Louis. Mario Lemieux in his second year having another great season, his 21st goal, and the Penguins lead St. Louis 1-0 in the first period. The Calgary Flames are meeting the Minnesota North Stars tonight at the Met Center in Minnesota, and so far, no score in that game. The Russian Red Army team continues its tour of NHL cities. Tonight they are in Montreal, and they're dominating the Canadiens. We'll pick it up first period, no score. Here, Doug Sotart, Montreal goalie, makes a big glove save on a shot by Homatov. The game remains scoreless. Still scoreless, Russian goaltender Sergei Malinkov comes up big. Mats Naslund feeds Shel Dahlin, who's stopped by Malinkov. Then Dahlin would shoot wide. The game remains scoreless. Fast skating game was also aggressive. Mario Tremblay exhibiting some intimidation after the whistle's blown. Still no score. We'll pick it up, still a scoreless duel when Tumanov down the left wing finds Krutov, who feeds Sergei Makarov, and the Russians take a 1-0 lead. With the score of 1-0, the Russians will make it 2-0. Veselov takes the initial shot. Sotart the save, but Veselov is there to put in his rebound. The Red Army leads it 2-0. And later on in the second period, it is Krutov stealing a pass from Brian Lawler and feeds Sergei Makarov for his second goal of the game, beating Sotart. The Russian Red Army leads the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 3-0, and you'll see that game in its entirety tomorrow right here on ESPN at noon Eastern Time. Now let's go back to the Northlands Coliseum, where the Philadelphia Flyers outplayed the Edmonton Oilers in the first period. They lead the Stanley Cup champs 2-0.
Thank you very much, Tom. And, Mickey, we did see some good goaltending in the first period by Andy Moog and by Bob Prose. He did stop a couple of key shots.
Well, that they did, Michael, and I think the Oilers are going to have to revamp a little bit. I'm sure that Glenn Sather, in between that first intermission, a few things to say to his hockey club about getting their offense going first. As I mentioned in the first period, they were just rebounding off a defense, trying to get some offense going. It was pretty well all Flyers in control. See what they could do here.
Dockett with a puck. He centers it. Came right to Ron Sutter just beyond the stick. He'll go back to center to take it again. McClellan, Marty McSorley, and Ramo Sumanen on for the Oilers up front. Randy Craig and Don Jackson. On defense, we'll set the Flyers for you in a moment. Sumanen now. Into the left wing corners. Swing it around the horn. McSorley cut up at the pass. He can't get to it. Craig will come in deep. He tried to put it in front. Sutter checked him too well. And here are the Flyers again. Lead pass Crosby. Ahead now for Rick Sutter. McCollum to beat. Long slap shot. Moe got that off the shoulder. Comes back to Rick Sutter. Had a man cutting for the cage in Dockett, but he couldn't fight past to him. The Oilers move it back to the Flyers line. Brad Marsh. Right in front of the Flyers bench area. Well, we've got several players out tonight, Mickey, and for this Edmonton team to look at their lineup. Mike Kruzleniski out with a sprained right knee. Coyne Anderson under suspension. And Mark Messier, that's a big loss there with a problem with his left foot. He'll be out 2 to 3 more weeks. Steve Smith and Jeff Brubaker are scratches. That's a ticket not playing tonight. But some big names there with Messier, Anderson, and Kruzleniski.
Well, they played as a line, Mike, together. You take almost 150 goals away from the Oilers offensively. And it shows, because really, without only Gretzky and Curry providing the offense that we're used to seeing out of the Oilers, they just don't get that many offensive chances.
Flyers have Thomas Eriksson and Bo Berglund scratching the lineup tonight. And Curry now winds it behind the net for Gretzky. Lee Fogelman, he'll backhand one towards the net. Pro's got a stick on that. The league's leading goaltender, Bob Prose, of the Flyers. And that one's worked off the boards, and away it goes. We get an icing call here against Philadelphia. Yeah, we played 1.5 minutes here in period number 2.
Might see, Mike, to kind of counterbalance the lack of offense for the Oilers. We might see Glenn Sather using Coffey when Gretzky and Curry are not on the ice. Coffey's like an extra forward out there. Skates like them. Although Coffey now and Huddy coming on to play with the Gretzky line.
Out of the players we mentioned, Messier, Anderson, Kruzleniski. The key one, maybe you think, that it's not in the lineup?
You look at the last offensive surge by the Oilers, Fogelman with a weak backhander, and Prose again is there to make the stop.
Gretzky now to work in the circle to the left of the Flyer net against Ron Sutter. Boy, Sutter's become one of the better checkers in the NHL, drawing the big assignment night after night. And a false face-off there. Ronnie is not quite the goal scorer, I think, that they expected him to be for the Flyers, but certainly his checking is tremendous.
Well, Ron and Rich with 7 and 8 respectively. But, you know, they, as you mentioned, they play so well on all parts of the ice surface.
Well, they were both first-round draft choices in the same year. Ron Sutter by Philadelphia, Rick Sutter by Pittsburgh, and, of course, Rick Sutter, the twin brother, coming to the Flyers in a trade. Mark Howe swings it up ahead. And we'll get another icing call, apparently. Moog's going to play the buck, and that waves it off. Paul Coffey. And the Flyers again, right back into the Edmonton zone. Flyers lead here 2-0 early in period number 2. Mike Lang along with Mickey Redmond and Jim Kellett at the Northlands Coliseum. Gretzky going in, trying to get to it. Hunter will beat everybody to it. He knew Gretzky was trailing the play, but the pass was too hard. Now the Flyers give it away. Hunter trying to go to Gretzky and an offside call. At Edmonton, the score, the Flyers 2, the Oilers nothing.
If you just ask for a light beer,
Give me a light.
You never know what you'll get.
Thoughts?
No, actually, Bud Light. So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light.
Yours?
No, because everything else...
Give me a light.
Showtime! ...is just a light.
Well, the Flyers who outshot the Oilers 22-15 in the first period. They're just 3 shy of their all-time record for the most shots in one period, the most this year by a Flyer club. Against an opponent in one period, Dave Richter, number 5 for the Flyers, along with Brad Marsh. Dave Brown up for Peter Cezzo has one of the 2 goals. Long shot, and Moog directs at it in the corner. Richter, a big, strong defenseman. And Kevin Lowe bumped into play by Derek Smith. Smith missed a few games after being involved in an automobile accident in the Philadelphia area. Back in the lineup, but now Kevin Lowe. Again to Dave Semenko. It hasn't been a particularly punishing game physically by the club. Here's Semenko going to Napier. Good shot. A good save by Froese there. Rebound in front, and Brad Marsh plays goaltender and makes the stop. Where's the puck? It's kicked away.
Almost had a penalty shot, and Fraser was ready to call it.
Fraser got hit in the head on the play, too. The referee, I think by an errant stick. Now Brad Marsh, one of the premier shot blockers in the National Hockey League, took over for Bob Froese in the net.
Sure did it there. Semenko had a couple of pops at it, and then Fraser came in thinking that Marsh was going to cover it up in the crease, which means a penalty shot.
Flyers with a steal, and Eklund puts one right on Moog, and he'll glove that with the left hand. Some good action again. Continuing right where it left off in the first period.
Brad Marsh rolled over a little bit, Mike, and tried to cover the puck as he laid right there. He really didn't have a lot of choice, but somehow one of his teammates came in and banged it off. See if we can take a look at it again. Napier, the shot saved by Froese. Now, here's a couple of whacks at it. You see Marsh with that left arm. The right leg comes over. Look at Fraser is right there to try to see if it's going to be covered in the crease. But a teammate of Marsh's came in and knocked it out of harm's way.
Is there a better shot blocker in the NHL?
I don't think there is.
I don't think so either.
Very, very good.
Bounce one to the net, and Moog's got that. He's on his backside. And the Flyers can't follow up. 47. Put it up the side of the net. Froese watches the play. Now, Sherburne let that shot go right over the crossbar. And McCrimmon leads it ahead for Pelly Eklund. Eklund, kind of a knuckleball type of shot. Moog got that. It might have deflected off someone coming in. Flyers lead 2-0. The Oilers trying to get back into the game. Rossman could not clear. Jackson, though, had poked out the stick. This Oilers team is the highest scoring team in the National Hockey League with 194 goals coming into tonight's game. They can score. Here's Eklund pulling up, breaks off. Behind the net for Randy Craig, the Oiler defenseman. And Craig's lead pass will find Dave Hunter. And the Oilers trying to make a change in the mood. That's with the Flyers now as it pucks into the Edmonton end. Logan to sweep it away in a hurry. We have played almost 5 minutes here in the second period. The Flyers lead 2-0. Here's Gretzky on the rush. Gretzky left side, looking for Coffey, and the drop pass just behind him. Kerr spins it out of danger. Now Gretzky has a 26-game scoring streak on the line here tonight against the Flyers. Gary Curry. Going to Gretzky. Cuts inside. Back to Curry. Left shot and missed the goal. Now Curry's having trouble finding the net. He missed a golden chance in the first period, and that one just sailed wide of the far post. Gretzky trying to leave it for Hunter, and he will. Rick Tonka to beat. He cuts in, and it's an offside play against the Oilers. Here in Edmonton, the score: Flyers 2, the Oilers nothing.
If you're putting in long hours in your quest for the American dream, subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. Working late won't be any more fun, but it might be more rewarding.
Call 800-554-9000 for this special introductory offer. 13 weeks for just $29.50 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.50. Phone 800-554-9000 now for the Wall Street Journal.
Rick Hockey, the matchup right now. Ron Sutter's line against Kevin McClellan. I'd expect, I think, to have Sutter out there against Gretzky if you could. Of course, the home team has the last change.
These are the working men out there, I'll tell you.
Tocchet and Rick Sutter on either side of Ron. McClellan with Suminen and Marty McSorley. And that puck out of play. Flyers now with 27 shots. The Oilers with 18. And the Flyers on goals by Brian Propp and Peter Zezel lead the game 2-0.
These are the kind of guys they call the foot soldiers in the NHL. They go out there and dump it in and love to hit those corners and boards and muck in down there and try to dig it out. Very good example of two lines that love to play that way right here.
Kevin Lowe, number 4 for the Oilers. Suminen, he'll work it up to Kevin McClellan. Big, strong center iceman. Very wiry, but deceptively strong. Works the corners, as Mickey said very well. Suminen. He's the finesse player in this line. Drop it back. McClellan with a centering pass. And it came off a stick. Now Fogelin holds it in. Picked off by Doug Crossman. Skating with room. It'll be Oilers in.
Interference. You betcha.
They've got a probably coming up here.
This will be interesting. If we can get a look at this one again.
All right. Here at the Northlands Coliseum, the score, Philadelphia 2 and Edmonton 0.
Sunday, the NHL's best is on ESPN when the Blackhawks take on Minnesota. Both teams are climbing in the Norris division, but give Chicago the edge. Dennis Savard is out to prove that the Bears aren't the only team in town. The Blackhawks and North Stars, live Sunday on ESPN. Saturday, ESPN comes out of the gate with live coverage of the year's first major race for 3-year-olds. See the Tropical Park Derby live Saturday.
Rick Tocchet, the man in the box for the Philadelphia Flyers, and he interfered with Lee Fogelin. He got ahead of the play. Look at Tocchet coming into the middle behind Fogelin. He's ahead of the play, has to stay on side. He decides to pick off Lee Fogelin, and that is interference. Kerry Fraser made the call. As you see, it left the Flyers with a 2-on-1, but the whistle blew. Good call by Kerry Fraser.
Well, the Oilers right now with an opportunity to get back into the hockey game. They're down 2-0. And here's Charlie Huddy. Putting the buck in behind the kid, Tom Prose, who has been perfect so far. And it's cleared by Huddy's play. The Flyers with the best penalty killing in the NHL, 84%. The Oilers are 4th in the power play at 26.7 on the conversion rate. Minute and a half to go, and the Oilers haven't been able to get it going yet.
Big Dave Semenko, 27, is out there, and you know what his job is, Mike? The Oilers can get possession inside the Flyers zone. He'll be right in front of Prose.
Semenko watches Huddy take over. Saw the offside call against Edmonton. Let's join our good buddy Jim. Well, we were going to go to Jim Kelly. We will save it. Yes, we will. Jim will be even better the second time around. 2-0 Flyers and a minute 14 to go on the Rick Tocchet penalty. Philadelphia shorthanded. Glenn Sather surveys the situation. And to his immediate right, Grant Fuhr.
Team not exceptionally sharp, the Oilers tonight. Although part of that has to do with the Flyers being on top of their game. This Philadelphia team, when they get on a roll, they won 13 in a row earlier in the season, and they are just almost unbeatable. They just like a machine. They keep getting better and better and better. Seldom have they slipped. I saw them one night in Detroit. They went for a week, lost 3 out of 4, or 4 out of 5, was it? And they really struggled, but not so this time.
Coffey goes coast to coast, and he cuts behind the Oilers, or the Philadelphia net, goes all the way out now to the left wing circle. Then the puck to McCabe. He couldn't handle it. Gretzky will, though, behind the net. Right in front of the cage, and now taken by the Flyers, and again cleared. They're taking the heat out of a hot kitchen right now, but there hasn't been too much cooking in there because the Oilers haven't had too much to write home about.
Normally you see the Oilers make those pretty little plays around the net.
32 seconds to go on the Tocchet penalty. Here behind the net, Huddy trying to stuff it in, and Prose got over to cut that down and make the stop. Coffey at the left point. Yari Curry, pass was too high. He just couldn't settle it. Flyers clear, and that should just about do it. Huddy winds it around. Sala with the steal. Over to Murray Craven. 8 seconds in the Philadelphia penalty. Coffey's lead pass to Curry. Penalty is over now. Tucker will come on. Curry giving the puck to Gretzky. There, a shot! But he went wide over that with it.
Good lumber on that one, too.
And Sinisano directs it back to the Oiler line. Lee Fogelin to Gretzky. He's got the motor going now, Gretzky does. He cuts into the Flyers in again. Spinning on a dime. Turning, circling, passing to Fogelin. Great pass. Moves in. Shooting off the side of the goal. Fogelin behind it to Curry. Watch Gretzky now because he's cranked up. Gretzky has it again. Over to Fogelin. Shoot it. And glove by Froze. He's looking for somewhere to go. He comes out. Dangerous move there. He lost it. McCavish to Gretzky. Shoots it. Scores!
Do you believe it? Do you believe what happened there? Froze mad at himself. Gary Fraser standing right there. And the rear throw. He should have kept the puck right there. But you see, there's not an Oiler around, and he may have gotten called for a friendly. McCavish got a slash on Froze just as he went to shoot the puck and took his stick off it, and then Gretzky picked up the loose puck and jammed it right in the middle of the net.
Gretzky now has scored his 27th straight game. That's his 24th goal of the year.
Boy, all the chances they got, the good scoring chances, and they score on a funny goal like that. But they'll take him anywhere they can get him against the Flyers.
And Gretzky working hard. You can feel him start to take command of that shift here on the right side. The Flyers try to leave it between the circles. Fogelin breaks out that play. Well, the Oilers all of a sudden are right back in the hockey game. They're down 2-1. And we've got the offside call. All right, let's try again now. Let's join our good buddy Jim Kelly.
All right, Michael, on New Year's Eve, let's go back December 31st, 10 years ago, what many called the perfect game. The Soviet Red Army team against Montreal up at the Forum. Those two teams skated to a 3-all tie, and at that time, maybe the two best goalies in the world, Kenny Dryden for the Canadians and Vladislav Prediak for the Red Army team. Mickey, you played against the Soviets, what, 72, 73?
That's right, Jim. The original 72 series where we went over to Moscow. It's quite amazing to play against the Europeans, especially the Soviets, but I, for one, do not believe that we can be a true test against their type of hockey in the middle of our season that means so much to our teams. A lot of our players do not care to play against them at any time at all, really, because it interrupts our season.
Kevin Lowe now giving the puck to Lee Fogelin. And the return pass went wide, played off the boards by Lowe. And the Flyers now with a 2-1 lead. Fogelin, tap of the head, Froze. They'll leave it for Dave Richter. Around to the left side to Mark Howe. Boy, Howe gets the puck out of his own end so quickly. Just inside the Oiler line. The left wing, Ramo Suminen. Dave Lumley, who hasn't seen much ice time tonight, on here now for the Oilers. And Brad Marsh looking for Ron Sutter. Now the checking picks up again. Tim Kerr. Lost the puck to Lumley. Lumley in a collision at center ice with Rick Sutter. Here's the Oilers now. Don Jackson. And the Oilers ice put it in front of the net. But Rogers couldn't get there. Mike Rogers on with Dave Lumley.
Lumley, another run at Richter.
Gordy Shervin.
I'm surprised that Richter has not retaliated. He likes to rough it up. Twice that Lumley's taken a pretty good run at Dave Richter.
9:50 left, period number 2. 2-1 the Flyers lead. The Oilers on this New Year's Eve. Sutter winds it around the horn for Brad McCrimmon. Look at the body. Heavy hitting going on.
Lumley again.
And Huddy lead it up ahead. Off a stick to Mike Rogers. Oh, good shift that time for the Rogers line. Oilers are trying to creep back into it. This is Brad Marsh. Tocchet came in. He is checked heavily. Poulin gets the puck. And he sails one wide of the goal up the right point. McCrimmon hustles over. Can he keep it in? He can't. It's offside. Back into the zone and an offside call. The Flyers 2 and the Edmonton Oilers 1.
This Bud's for all that you do.
They said this city was through. You said, no way.
Each day the spirit's growing. Your pride is really showing. You make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
Well, the Philadelphia Flyers with 2 first-period goals by Brian Propp and Peter Zezel The Oilers by 1 by Wayne Gretzky here in the second, 2-1.
Speaking of Gretzky, Glenn Sather right now double shifting the Gretzky line. They're back out there right again.
And Dave Poulin gets the matchup this time against Gretzky's unit. Behind the Philadelphia net. Drop right to center, does to Crossman. He'll crank one up that went over the crossbar and off the glass. Gretzky takes possession. They give him room. He drops it back to Coffey. Left shot, and throws, kicked it away. Rebound, Curry. To the left point to Coffey. He shoots one off Poulin's leg, and back behind the net it goes. Hunter looking for Gretzky. Gretzky front of center. Curry's there on the short side, but he didn't have much on it. Froze made the stop. Now work back to the left side, and the Oilers coming on. Center pass. Hunter scores! Dave Hunter ties the game for the Edmonton Oilers.
See what happened there, Mike? The Flyers tried to get Froze to freeze the puck again. There you see the end of it, where Hunter converts, and it looks like how number 2 and Froze collided. But a moment before that, Froze had made a save, and I'm not sure who the Philadelphia player was, standing right beside the right goalpost, just stood there and tried to get Bobby Froze to follow the puck. And he didn't do it, and bingo, it ended up back in front to Hunter, and we're tied at 2 with 8:22 to go, second period. Dave Hunter, who's been hot lately.
Well, perfect centering pass by Paul Coffey. 11:38 the time of the goal by Dave Hunter. His 11th of the year. Just like that, the Oilers have tied the game. And a whistle now at an outside play. Some big basketball games coming up. Jim Kelly?
Michael, the best in college basketball starts on Thursday, January the 2nd. It could be the nation's toughest conference, and 4 teams will show you why. First, number 5, Georgetown plays Pittsburgh, and then number 4, Syracuse hosting Boston College, 7 o'clock Eastern time, right here on ESPN. Mickey, I was going to ask you to analyze how that Philadelphia kind of clutch and grab style was bottling up the likes of Gretzky, Curry, and Coffey, but they got untracked and they figured out a way to beat the system.
Well, they do like to play that style of hockey, all right. But, you know, when the Oilers, as Mike had mentioned just before Gretzky scored, it looks like number 99's got it in gear, and he did. And, you know, if you start clutching and grabbing too much when a guy is going full gear, obviously you're going to get penalties, so they can't do it as much. But the Oilers are getting their legs right now and carrying the play.
And Gretzky trying to make it happen again. He's coming over the cage, and it's just off the stick, near side. Curry trying to go back to Gretzky. Can't make that happen. And McCrimmon up ahead to Sinisalo. Now the momentum has seemed to have swung to the Edmonton Oilers. Talk about that. And the Flyers just such a great disciplined team, though. I don't think it's going to affect their game at all, Mickey.
Well, it's a game of momentum. I mean, the Oilers really were kind of sitting back in the first period and let the Flyers come to them.
That centering pass, back checking is Gretzky. And he looks ahead for Yari Curry. And he's flying. Gretzky's open on the left wing. Curry, though, couldn't beat Crossman. Gretzky has it again. Backhander, he shoots and scores! Oh, hallelujah, Hollywood. What a shot by Gretzky.
Isn't that funny? The trailer, the late man. All of a sudden, the puck ends up on his stick. Just a bad bounce right there. And you see the Flyer player had his back to it. Gretzky came up. He played so well without the puck. He started to play out way back in his own zone. It deflected off a screen, Crossman. And I think Froze saw the shot, but not too often in the National Hockey League these days do you see a good backhander like that. But it's that man without the puck that can kill you. In this case, it was Gretzky.
Gretzky, the goal, is second of the night, 25th of the year. Now, he said to our Jim Kelly between periods, we're going to change it around. And he certainly did. Here's Jackson with a backhander. That's deflected. Now the Flyers trail for the first time in the game, 3-2. Now the goaltending by Andy Moog sure looks big, doesn't it, in the first period?
Oh, you betcha.
Here's McTavish back, 3-on-2. Left side, Napier. Drive a pass for McTavish, but stopped by the Flyers' Dave Poulin. Flyers on the rush again. And a centering pass. Howe picks it up around the net for Dave Poulin. Centers it back for McTavish. Able to get it. Left wing, here's Semenko. And trying to play Napier. Semenko fires, but Froze to cut the angle down and made the save.
Oh, we get some excitement in this building for a change.
3-2 Edmonton. Second period. Here's Kerr with a wrist shot. And Moog just got a piece of that one. And it opens up again. Here's Napier with possession. Looks for Paul Coffey. We told you this Edmonton team is a high-scoring machine. They've picked up 3 already in the second period.
That was tipped at center ice by Sinisalo, so there'll be no icing on the play.
Coffey back. Look at the speed he has. Going up the left wing. Too far for McClellan. Raven trying to turn and counterattack.
It's amazing how this game can turn around. In the first period, we saw the Philadelphia team back. Icing being called against the Oilers right now. Philadelphia was coming back and doing all the back checking. Now the Oilers go offensively, and they're doing the back checking.
The score, Edmonton 3 and the Flyers 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, every regular rookie this season, one lucky voter effect.
Saturday, it's non-stop live sports excitement on ESPN. First, a dream showdown in the ACC. Number 1 North Carolina puts it all on the line in a live shootout with NC State. This one's too close to call. Live horse racing's next. The Tropical Park Derby tests 3-year-old Triple Crown hopefuls with the start of television's biggest racing schedule. Later, a live basketball twin bill. It's Kentucky and Vanderbilt in the opener, top 10 Duke and Maryland with an ACC encore. All Saturday.
Now a big second period by the Edmonton Oilers. With 5:58 to go, they lead 3-2.
Look at the shots on goal now.
They certainly almost evened up, haven't they? Yeah. 27-24 in favor of the Flyers. They've had 5 in the period, and Edmonton's had 9. 22-15
in the first period. Funny game, this hockey.
Oh, we got a long way to go, too.
Totally, though.
Ron Sutter against Kevin McClellan, and he moves now. Try to move it to an open man to clear it out. Crossman takes it. He centers. And that went wide of everybody. Dave Richter put it behind the net. Rick Tocchet, call him the baby bull in Philadelphia. And McClellan could not move it out. The Flyers now with some checking of their own with the Sutter brothers and Rick Tocchet. Rick Sutter gets it down to Tocchet. Back in and around behind that net. Ron Sutter to Rick in front. He shoots one, not much on it. And the net they knock off the moorings, but Rick Sutter collided with the goalpost. All right, let's join Jim Kelly right now.
All right, Mike, I'm right behind Andy Moog on that stop. Meanwhile, let's get to the scoreboard. Buffalo and Boston, it's 4-3 Sabres in the second. Quebec, Goulet's 1 goal is holding up his 28th of the year. That's after 2. Detroit, Brad Park in his coaching debut, 3-2. Bossy got his 24th for the Islanders to close to within 1. Pittsburgh leading St. Louis 1-0. That's in the first. And the North Stars all netted up against Calgary 2-2. And they're in the first period at Minnesota.
Here it is 3-2 Edmonton.
Big night on New Year's Eve in the National Hockey League. It was a day when they never used to play games around Christmas. And New Year's?
Oh, but they sure do now.
Yeah.
And New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
Houlihan, Propp, and Kerr on for the Flyers against Kevin McClellan's unit. The Oilers who have rallied to take the lead here in the second period. Watching Propp gun him back in. Ball Coffey. Norris Trophy winner last year is the best defenseman of the National Hockey League, number 7. Propp down right side. The backhand one was deflected by Mike Rogers. Rogers now working center ice here, working the left wing with McClellan. Here's McSorley. They're trying to make some changes. McSorley, and his shot went way wide of the goal. Flyers pick it up at center red. And put it inside the Oilers line. Kevin Lowe directs it back. Approaching 4.5 minutes to go in the second period. Edmonton leading 3-2. Lee Vogelin gave it away to Dave Poulin. He'll snap it in, and Poulin comes to the Flyers bench. And it'll be the Oilers on the right. Sumanek. Gretzky's open on the left wing, goes to Vogelin right side. Crossman came over to knock the puck off his stick. Dave Richter defensively for the Philadelphia Flyers finds Pelle Eklund. Swing it to Sinisalo with a good pass. Hunter overtakes him, and a good back-checking effort there by Dave Hunter. Raven trying to put it in front, and Moog will stop it right to the left of his own goal. Now they've settled down just a bit here over the last 3 or 4 minutes.
You know, one of these nights, Mike, we're going to be able to keep an isolated camera on 99 Wayne Gretzky. You know, you really pointed it out. Look at Coffey, who shaken up, on that last shift. He lost his stick. It looks like he's got a bad wrist. Bandaged up. A little splash on Coffey, and then the collision with Brian Propp. That's probably how he did it. But you know, if we could ever get a camera isolated on Gretzky, he's amazing. You can see almost when he decides to turn it on, and you know, people might say, well, why doesn't he do that all the time? It's physically and mentally impossible to do what he does, really, even as he does it, to come out here so often, produce the points he does, and mentally be prepared to play. But in the second period, as he talked to Jim after the first intermission, he's come out here and he has really got the motor going. Just see it in his physical makeup, the way he starts to skate. When he really
we get
puts his
time,
mind
I'll
to
try
it.
and relate a story of him playing a game here at home for this crowd. And if you could actually read this, the fans booed him in a situation on a power play because he had lost the puck just inside the blue line. And he went back and he tapped the stick twice at center ice, picked the puck up, and as though to say to the crowd, don't ever do that to me again, worked his way in, beat two players and the defenseman and the goaltender and scored, never raised the stick at all. Just skated right to the bench, no reaction. The fans... He said, don't do that to me.
He like Babe Ruth pointing the baseball bat over the field.
But I so vividly remember him just tapping that stick twice as if to say, give me the puck. Now I'll show you. And here it comes up the near side of Fogelin. Rogers and Gretzky. Offside play there at the Flyers line.
Yeah, Mike Rogers tried to bust between the Flyer defensemen. Of course, you know, Gretzky loves, what he likes to do is sort of get over that line, slow down a little bit, and then drop the puck back to somebody. Of course, Rogers just joining this hockey club from the Ranger organization. Let's have a look at Gretzky. The guys have got the isolation on him. The puck, you know, is going to come to him, and there's Rogers busting in the middle. And as I mentioned, Rogers just coming over from the Rangers. One of the players that are familiar with Gretzky there would have just fallen in behind him, let both defensemen come to 99, and they would have ended up with a nice drop play and a good shot on goal, I'm sure.
And from behind the Edmonton net, Gretzky tried to clear it out. He couldn't. Crossman put it down the boards, and Gretzky will this time. To Curry. One man back to beat Marsh. Tough job here for Curry. Shoots one. Right over the head of goaltender Bob Froh. Marsh is a tough defenseman to beat one-on-one.
Looks like he went for the forehead on that one. Said, I got nothing else to do. Why not try to get him upstairs?
And I'll tell you right now.
Shake him up a little bit.
Goaltender Froze or Marsh?
The goaltender.
Hey, you know, Marsh will stand there all day.
Oh, yeah, he will.
Brad.
You got that right. And that's not to say that he's stupid either, because he's a very bright guy, Brad Marsh. But, you know, as much as intimidation of this game is physically, you can also use your shot. If you can shoot the puck well, like Gary Curry can, you can use that shot as an intimidating factor as well. Normally, when a goaltender knows you shoot high, the next time you come down, he's going to be on the heels of those skates, and you bing it right along the ice. And
I know somebody else that must have tried that in his career. Mickey Redmond.
Oh, I love to hit the glass. Hey, listen, if you got nothing else to do with it, no help, and you can't get a great scoring chance, try to knock him down. If you can't put it around him, put it through him.
Tim Kerr, who has been kind of quiet tonight, puck put back into the Oilers zone. And now going to Kerr. He'll turn and shoot one off Coffey's leg, so Coffey has recovered enough to get back in play. The Flyers with Howe shooting one off Huddy. Kerr with that big, strong frame of his. Worked it into the circle, left side. That's one shooting, and the arm save made by Andy Moe. That was a nice setup play there by Tim Kerr with that good strength he has. Here come the Oilers. Napier, right side of McCavish. He moves in. Backhander. It's to make a right front. The net is off the Moore.
You believe that play?
Woo. All right, here in Edmonton, the score, the Oilers 3 and the Flyers 2.
Introducing something new and rather amazing. A super high-octane gasoline with twice the detergent it had before to give you a plus. A detergent strong enough to actually clean dirty fuel injectors, to give your car power and performance it didn't have before. New Mobil Super Unleaded, high-octane with a plus.
Well, the Oilers with a one-goal lead here. Late in period number 2.
I think that shot would have gone into it and hit some ankle. Both guys went for the front of the net. 2 Oilers and a Philadelphia player. McTavish's backhand. He said, look, guys, it's hard enough to score in this league without you stopping it. The goaltender tried to do that.
That might have been an offside play coming in. Here's Lumley. And Brian Propp corrals it. One of the 2 Flyer goals. Peter Zezel the other. Rogers behind the net for Lumley. Held it by Brad Marsh for Shervin. Started his career with Edmonton, went to Minnesota, now back in an Edmonton Oilers uniform. Lee Fogelin. And that's a defensive move there. Fogelin not known to carry the puck in that deep, and just put it in the corner. Back from the Flyers, however. Marsh on the right. He will go in deep. Oh, him with a solid shoulder check. Sinisalo turned around. Might have been a penalty there, none called as Rogers pulled down Sinisalo.
All of a sudden, the Flyers now starting to press a little bit. That forechecking is getting them some offensive chances.
Crossman along the far side. Tried to wind it to Fulham, but cleared away. And the Flyers have to go back and get it. Mark Howe rushing in. Avoided low with a good move. Howe comes in deep, goes behind the net. We've seen two defensemen now vacate and come in deep on the last two rushes for the Flyers. They changed their style a bit.
Right, they're trying to make it happen.
In front of Prop, shooting the puck and off the chest of Andy Moore. Minutes ago in the period, and McSorley coming back for the Oilers. He is cut off by Brad McCrimmon, and McSorley rams into the glass. Nothing called there. Rick Sutter. Boy, he's getting a little feisty right now.
Well,
in the second period.
You're very familiar with McSorley, and now they start. McCall and McSorley against the Flyers. You're familiar with McSorley, of course.
Both Marty McSorley and Kevin McCullough.
Exactly. Coming from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Marty McSorley is such a nice young man, but we'll take a break here. 3-2 Oilers. Let's go downstairs to Jim Kelly.
Okay, Mike back behind goaltender Andy Moog, who's been perfect for the Oilers so far here in the second period. Meanwhile, Edmonton has rallied for 3 big goals, and they've taken a 3-2 lead. Coming up in our first intermission, or actually in the second intermission, if you will, you've heard about the controversy in the National Football League surrounding the use of instant replays. Well, we will have a very special feature on the possible use of instant replays in the National Hockey League. Also, we'll check in for Sports Center and Tom Mees with the Bud Light scores and highlights, all coming up in our second intermission. Let's go back upstairs to the M&M boys.
Well, we have 40 seconds to go now in period number 2.
You and I are sitting up here with the red ties. I want to know where you got that pretty yellow tie.
I want to know if it bothers Bob Froese, the goaltender of the Flyers, is what I want to know at the other end of the rink. There's Mike Keenan.
Doesn't get too ruffled behind that bench. This Flyer team is such a solid hockey team.
Craven will leave the puck for Mark Howe. Well, neither club wants to make a mistake here late in the period. Craven right side going to Sinisalo. And back to Murray Craven. He is hit on a heavy check by Hunter, and Hunter's going to draw a penalty here. Now Sinisalo's got to be careful he doesn't draw one himself.
Well, that's not a good penalty for Dave Hunter to take. There's no need for it. He got the elbow up high, and it was deserved. Craven went back into him and gave him a little bump, but not enough to deserve a retaliation penalty. But see Hunter going in there now. He's just got to take Craven out of the play. But he got that elbow up high, and Kerry Fraser could see that he meant to get it up there and meant to try to ram Craven into the board's head first, and he'll pay for it. 23 seconds to go here in the second period. Face off deep in the Oilers zone to the left of Andy Moog.
We talked about the Flyers specialty teams among the elite in the NHL. Third in the power play, first in penalty killing.
You look at the press notes here at the Coliseum, and you see they go down every player and point out their stats and what they've been doing lately. And of course, the two guys that eat up most of the pages are Gretzky and Tim Kerr. Tim Kerr, of course, with all those power play goals.
Yeah, he has such a great release too, Mickey, and not only on the forehand, on the backhand too. He's just a tremendous shooter. He's tough to move in front of that net, anywhere in the slot. One of the reasons why he had knee surgery a couple of years ago, and they really worked on his legs with the weights, and he said, that's been a big difference in my game why I've scored so many goals. 54 the last 2 years.
Mike Bossy and Phil Esposito have the record for power play goals at 28.
I think I inadvertently said it was Gretzky before. At center ice with 8 seconds to go in the period. Bossy and Esposito are the two men that had 28 in a season.
Well, it'd be very normal to expect that Gretzky would have that record, along with the 30-some others that he has. But the Oilers come back here in period number 2 with 3 big goals against Bobby Froese. Momentum shifted to their side when they kind of got their skating legs in gear, and they made it happen offensively. So, were you surprised with that at all? Not at all, really, because I think the Flyers really sat back. I mean, I'm surprised the Flyers didn't come out the same way, yes, but I'm not surprised that the Oilers were able to get their offense in gear and get it going, producing 3 goals.
Oh, we got a lot of time left. At the end of 2 periods, the score here in Edmonton. The Edmonton Oilers 3, the Philadelphia Flyers 2. And we'll be right back with Tom Mees and a special feature on the use of the instant replay for officials.
Friday, Total Sports gets down to business with a special meeting of the board. Speed Week has the complete racing picture. For total motorsports coverage, there's no option. We are the driving force. The fishing hole is next. Meet Jerry McInnes in God's country. The big ones are always fighting, but this time you'll have to put them back. Then the Friday night fights are coming at you with non-stop dynamite. Live Top Rank Boxing puts it right on the chin again. A Friday night to remember on ESPN.
Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Tom Mees in our ESPN Hockey Studios, where the Edmonton Oilers dominated the Flyers in period number 2. They've come back to take a 3-2 lead back to Edmonton for the third period in a moment. Well, after last season, the NHL's Board of Governors made a special appropriation of $500,000 to study ways to improve officiating in the National Hockey League. One way the league is studying to take some of the pressure off the referees on the ice is the use of cameras strategically placed at angles near the goal line to aid the official in making the correct call concerning whether the puck did or did not go into the net. Now, the idea was experimented with for the first time a couple of weeks ago at a game between Team Canada and Michigan State University. Brian McFarland has more in this report.
Now it's kept in. Gartner, a shot. Oh, it hit the goal post. That's going to be called a goal. You got to go down and see the goal judge.
I will. There's no goal light on.
I realize that. But any time that we've got a problem.
Fine, I'll go down there. I'll talk to Brian. The rest of you guys go on. Hey, come here. Go on. Go ahead. Just a minute. Just a minute. Dan? Yeah, come here. Listen to me. You guys go on, and I'll talk to Brian. I'm going to go down and talk with the goal judge now because I'm required to do so. I saw that puck go right up underneath the crossbar and right on the goal line, Brian. It had perfect eyesight. Perfect vision. Okay? All right? Stay here, and I'm going to go check with him. No, sir, Brian. Why would I lie to you? I'm in perfect position. The puck went in.
Was it a goal or wasn't it? Sometimes the goal judge, who sits right here about 10 feet away from that goal line, can't really tell whether the puck went in or not, and neither can the game officials. So maybe, just maybe, a television replay is the answer. That's exactly what the NHL is studying. It's all in the hands of a committee, but there are some problems.
Well, there are many problems, Brian, that the committee will be looking into, but one of the first would be camera location, identical camera location in all 21 cities to get the right angle, to get, whether it's an overhead camera, cameras behind the net, to the side of the net, to make sure that we get the perfect view of that goal or no goal.
Is it only goals that the league is concerned with, disputed goals?
At the present time, that's what the study committee is looking at, the goal or no goal. That's a very critical part of the game. It's a very difficult time sometimes for the official, and so that's one of the areas that we're centering in on first.
Critics say it will only serve to delay the game.
Well, I think once we've studied it, Brian, we'll get into it to where the referee would be looking at the replay, and we could have that done very quickly. The key to it, of course, is that the right call be made. And if we take 60 seconds to make the right call, that'll be the best 60 seconds that we spend in that game.
A week ago, the NHL experimented with video replays. Cameras followed the action in a game between Michigan State of the Central Collegiate Hockey Association and Canada's Olympic team. One was a fixed overhead camera. Another was a manned camera at the side of the rink. It was hockey's first experiment in the use of replays. And the first challenge came from Michigan State coach Ron Mason on the go-ahead goal by Team Canada. Mason thought a Team Canada player might have been in the crease on the goal, but the replay showed the referee's decision to be absolutely correct. A growing number of hockey men are in favor of replays to settle disputes of this nature.
I really don't think it would be that bad of an idea, at least bring it in on a trial basis to see if it works. Obviously, the referee has the first decision on whether it's in or not, but if there is a dispute, and as in a case in our last game in New York, he didn't see it, and he had to take the word of the goal judge.
As Mike Rogers moves out, his pass to Erickson, back to Rogers in the middle, to Brook, his shot off the crossbar.
The lights are on.
The light is on.
You believe that? They're going all over now.
And Don Edwards comes out to get it.
There's no way.
It appears as though they're going to give them a goal.
Oh, I don't know about that. Well, let's see what happens. No point in guessing at this point. Kerry Fraser
wants to consult with the goal judge.
Let's see if we can have a look at it. A long shot by Brook. In or out? No chance.
Didn't go in the net.
No chance.
off the crossbar. Fraser has left the ice service to speak with the goal judge. The goal judge turned the light on.
Well, that's right. I mean, what do they expect to get? They went, unless the only chance you had is if he said, I made a mistake.
Some say the use of replays is inevitable. If nothing more, they'll cut down on scenes like this.
I guarantee you some of those guys weren't saying Happy New Year. John McCauley, the NHL's Assistant Director of Officiating, says there will be a league meeting in January to decide whether or not to use the cameras. He says he would be personally in favor of replay cameras only if they're used as an aid for the officials and only if they're used to determine if a puck is in the net or not. So we'll have to wait and see. After 2 periods from the Northlands Coliseum, the defending champion Oilers lead the Flyers 3-2. Back with a Sports Center update in a moment.
Hello out there. Listen, how would you like to save some money and get something I'm absolutely sure you can use and enjoy right now, right where you are? It's TV Guide, America's favorite television magazine, and here's the story. You call this toll-free number and take advantage of the special TV offer, and you get 30 weeks of TV Guide home delivered, and you get 3 months to pay, and you get the lowest price going, and that's a promise.
Yes, right now, call 800-445-4500 for 30 weeks of TV Guide at the lowest price going. 30 weeks of TV Guide in your mailbox for pennies a day. And you can pay in 3 easy monthly installments of just $5.75 each. 800-445-4500. Send no money, but call today. 800-445-4500.
TV Guide pays for the call. Call now. You'll be glad you...
Let's get right to the other scores around the NHL. 5 other games tonight. In the Adams division, Boston is at Buffalo, and the Bruins have come back to tighten this one up, 4-3, Buffalo after 2. Final score, Quebec Nordiques have defeated the Hartford Whalers 5-1. In Quebec City, New York Islanders and Detroit, it is the Red Wings on top under new coach Brad Park in the 3rd period, 4-2. Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux has a hat trick in this game. Pittsburgh now leads this game 4-1. A late goal made it 4-1. And Calgary and Minnesota, that game is in the 2nd period, tied at 2 apiece. So there you have a rundown of the scoreboard in the NHL. Now, one exhibition tonight in Montreal. The Canadiens and the Russian Red Army team, and the Russian Red Army all over Montreal. The final score in this one was 6-1. We have some highlights now from the Forum in Montreal. With 3-0 the score already for the Russians, Sekamaya skates off the boards, fires a shot through Doug Sotart's legs to make it 4-0 Red Army. Still 4-0 when Bykov would fake the slap shot here from the blue line, and he'll beat Sotart with a nice wrist shot from near the face-off circle. It's 5-0. Now, Chris Nyland of the Montreal Canadiens expresses some of his frustration there. Nice left elbow to Babinoff of the Soviet Red Army team. Nyland comes in for more, and Babinoff says, hey, enough already, Mr. Nyland. I can give the elbows, too. And they almost come to blows. International hockey, that's frowned upon. After the Red Army had increased its lead to 6-0, Bobby Smith saves some face for the Canadiens. He feeds Mats Naslund. Their leading scorer, Naslund, gets the only marker of the night for the Red Army, 6-1. That's the final. The Russian Red Army beats Montreal, and you can see that game in its entirety tomorrow afternoon at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's 9 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. As for our game tonight in Edmonton, well, the Edmonton Oilers had quite a turnaround in that 2nd period as they dominated the Philadelphia Flyers, came from a 2-0 deficit to take a 3-0 lead. Highlights, in case you tuned in late, Brian Propp of the Flyers would score off a great pass from behind the net from Dave Pullen. This goal here made it 1-0 Flyers. Now, Bob Froese, the Philly goaltender, keep the Flyers in it in the 1st period, stopping stopping Yari Curry here. Curry and Coffey teaming up there, but no goal. Then watch Rick Tocchet set up Peter Zezel. Zezel cruises in, gets his own rebound, like following your shot in basketball. Flyers had a 2-0 lead after 1, but the Oilers get on the board midway in the 2nd period. Bobby Froese, unsure of himself, gives away the puck. He should have held it for a face-off. Did not, I think he'll give it away. Well, he's whacked at by the Edmonton Oilers player there, McTavish, and McTavish beats Gretzky, and that's history. Gretzky with the goal 2-1. The Flyers' lead is cut in half. Edmonton keeps the pressure on later on. Dave Hunter with a slap shot ties the game at 2. The Oilers would go ahead as the great one, Wayne Gretzky, with the unbelievable backhand, beating Froze cleanly to the stick side. And at the end of 2 periods of play, we have a real corker of a game. The defending Stanley Cup champions leading Philadelphia 3-2. What will happen in the third period? We'll find out in a few moments. We'll be going back to the Northlands Coliseum. Final period of play in tonight's game right after these commercial words.
Racing from the inside. No one covers it like Auto Week. Auto Week makes you an insider at the world's great race circuits every week. In the pits, behind the scenes, even in the cockpit with racing driver columnists in Formula One, NASCAR, and kart. Inside coverage just days after the race. And Auto Week puts you inside the world's most exciting cars, right behind the wheel. Auto Week takes you inside the whole automotive scene. Personalities, great cars of the past, columnists with inside scuttlebutt. Let Auto Week make you an insider, too. Call for a year's subscription to Auto Week. 52 issues at the basic price of $23, just 44 cents an issue. Call 1-800-544-1000 and get this $8 Auto Week t-shirt absolutely free. Call right now, 1-800-544-1000. Let Auto Week make you an insider, too.
Thursday, college basketball super season delivers a live triple header. The top 10 Georgetown Hoyas take it to the boards against Big East rival Pitt in the opener. But rankings don't count when the Panthers are on the prowl. Next, flashy Pearl, Washington, and Syracuse put their top 10 perch on the line in a showdown with Boston College. The best Big East action is right here. Then go coast to coast for a Pac-10 battle when Washington collides with California. Top 10 teams and a total live lineup Thursday.
Do you want to know everything about the NHL? You can with the NHL's own official guide and record book. It has statistics, photos, draft choices, and player information about every NHLer from 1900 to 1986. If you like your hockey, the NHL guide is for you. The guide and record book is available at any NHL game, wherever books are sold, by mail, or by calling 1-800-CHAPLAIN. To reserve your copy, send $14.95 plus $1.50 postage and handling to NHL Guide, P.O. Box 99E, Trenton, New Jersey.
Well, Mike Lang along with Mickey Redmond and Jim Kelly here at the Northlands Coliseum. The Oilers lead 3-2. And the shots in the second period, Edmonton with 10 and Philadelphia with 7. The 2-period totals now. The Flyers with 29 and Edmonton with 25. All right, old soothsayer, go to the third period. Tell me what's going to happen.
Oh, you got me. After watching those 2 first periods, like 2 different hockey games, there's Brian Propp, who opened the scoring in this hockey game for the Flyers. We're going to talk about the Edmonton Big Five with Gretzky, Curry, Anderson, Messier, who are out, and Paul Coffey. Well, the Flyers have got some pretty good hockey players in there. When you go with Coffey, opposite him would be Howe. Let's say number 2 for the Flyers. You've got Big Timmy Kerr, who's, let's say, your Gretzky. You've got Propp, Sinisalo, Poulin. That's a pretty big 5 right there for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, you saw that statistic. The Oilers are a very tough club, and so the Flyers when they have the lead going to the third period. The Oilers right now will be shorthanded, though, to begin period number 3. This will be a kind of a critical part, although maybe a little early in the game, but they'll be shorthanded with Hunter in the penalty box for elbowing. 1:37 to go, Mickey, on his penalty.
Yes, and not a good penalty, as I pointed out, for Hunter to take. An offensive type penalty where he didn't have to ram Murray Craven into the boards right at the end of the period, but he did, and he pays for it, at least so far.
Well, Wayne Gretzky with 2 goals tonight paced the way for the Oilers. Now has 95 points, 70 assists. The all-time record for assists in 1 year, 135. Right? Is that 5? 99. You're right. And we're not even at the halfway point, so he appears he might be on his way to breaking that all-time record, not scoring quite as many goals.
Well, you know, he likes to make plays. I mean, he really takes a lot of pride in setting up teammates, mainly Yari Curry. And either is happy about something so far. Who's he jawing with?
The referee, Gary Fraser. That'll be the last time you see that, too.
Wishing him a Happy New Year, probably.
And we'll be going to 86. Right now, you got the 2 best teams in 85 anyway, not only for the Stanley Cup, but right now in mid-season, in the NHL season. 85-86. Tim Kerr against Gretzky.
Don't think they're not thinking about the 200 grand either. I was in the Oiler dressing room this afternoon, and you know, they were talking about it. I mean, they make good money in this league these days, but saying, hey, that's almost 10,000 bucks a man when it comes down to it at the end of the year, and gives you a little extra something to go for. I think it's a great start, and I hope we see more of it in the future for other teams and other positions, because, you know, icing called here against Philadelphia, but you take a look at the $200,000, really, I think it's realistically, Mike, probably only 5 or 6 teams in the league have a realistic shot at winning that, which is the overall point total.
Well, you had an interesting thought. Maybe they continued over to division winners.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, they don't get a bye in the first round of the playoffs, so...
Well, it's easy to give somebody else's money away, so why don't we just double it to 400 grand and make it 100,000 for division winner? Not a bad one. Nevertheless, I think it's a good start. We're going in the right direction, and we get some extra meaning for these season games, which sometimes can be very draggy at times and take a lot of the zip out of these clubs.
Minute 20 to go on the Oiler penalty. And the Flyers trail 3-2, and Mark Howe steps in center and dumps it in. And played out by the Oilers again. The Oilers penalty killing 4th in the league. Belly Eklund. We said earlier, has become a specialist in the power play. Kevin Lowe off the glass. Jari Kurri and Gretzky, the penalty killers right now. Kerr behind the net, challenged by Fogelman. In front, it came off Moog. And the Flyers now trying to keep the pressure on. Doug Crossman skates in behind Lowe. Centers in front. A quick shot by Howe. The rebound, and Moog made that save. Pull up the rebound. Stop again. Moog, and he's got another one. Now great balls to fire. The Oilers getting great goaltending from Moog right now. Off the left wing side. Ropp has it. Ropp sets it up. Left side to Crossman. This is Howe. He'll shoot one. The pass saved by Moog. And the rebound is clear. Boy, Moog really coming up tough there. Eklund keeps it on. Lowe cut the angle down on him, ties him up on the boards. Lowe wants a face-off. Eklund wants the puck.
Let it go. Finally dig it out.
Ropp looking for a point man. The penalty is over now. Hunter is on. McCrimmon puts it in front. It came off Moog, and Kerr was standing right there. Fortunately for the Oilers, the puck bounced away from Kerr. Here's an icing call apparently against the Oilers, and yes, it is.
Well, some great goaltending by Andy Moog. You hear the crowd. Couple of point-blank stops by Andy Moog. The extra man in the power play, and right at the end of it, you saw Big Kerr again parked right beside Moog. The shave and hit Kerr and deflected further into the corner. That's where he gets so many of those goals. Tim Kerr standing right around the net.
There's one.
There's one big
two.
stop. Now, who is it?
Ropp is right there.
Ropp
he gets 2 shots at it.
That's right.
That's 4 shots. And they followed on. They finished that on the power play. 5 shots on the net. Here they center again. The Flyers do, and they play it back, and in a most shot that one too. Well,
you know,
Flyers thought they had themselves a goal to tie the game.
It looked like Zezel knocked it down with his glove. I thought the puck had gone in the net at first. You see Andy Moog talking with Gary Fraser. You can almost bet that when he's saying is that wouldn't have counted even if it had got in, would it? Fraser nodding his head. Can't quite tell there. You see the puck taking a bounce. It looked like Zezel knocked it down towards the net with his glove, and that would have been disallowed. But Andy Moog being sharp, then I won't take the chance.
Well, you don't get the amount of points the Flyers do with putting it any time, and they've come right back trying to answer the Oilers here, who had a big second period. But the Oilers still lead 3-2. Big goaltending tonight by Andy Moog. He was particularly tough in the first period. The Flyers managed to get 2 against him in 22 shots. Coffey leads it out of his own end. And this should be icing. McCrimmon touches, and here, the North End Stadium, the score. The Edmonton Oilers 3, the Philadelphia Flyers